All right, we are live. So this week, in the past weeks, I've had a project that I've been working on, which has given me something to actually do, and I didn't really have an idea for this week. And the only thing I've been playing with was working with some way to run tests on the custom commands that I've been working on for CommandBox. Um, so it's a topic that I am not terribly familiar with, and I don't know if there's actually a way to do it. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of trial and error as I work on it. But if you want to tag along for the ride, feel free to, and I'm sure I'll be reaching out uh, on Slack after I do this for a while to look for some answers. So here's the general problem is that, I don't even have I'm gonna open up my project, custom, and I'll just use the same project, the custom command scaffold project that I've been using and actually working on the past few weeks. Um, and the issue here is that I can run this I can run this command, um, and it generates files in a folder. Um, but I don't have an easy way to confirm that it is generating the files in the format that I want, or that they match what I expect and want them to look like, other than manually going in the folder, clicking through the files, and making sure that they look like they should. And that's manual, and manual stinks. So some automated process for testing that um, would be ideal. Now, I would think that I'd be using Testbox for this, but I'm not positive because it seems more geared towards testing web apps, not CLI projects. Um, all of which is to say, I've got a problem. I want to automate the testing of these CLI commands, and I'm going to be kind of exploring different ways that I can do that. So it'll be a lot of reading and trying things out during this particular live stream. Okay, so first thing, gonna hop over to I was just starting to look at the CommandBox docs. Well, guys, I'm gonna do this less thoughtfully and more just kind of, shooting up in the air. So I'm just gonna, first of all, install TestBox in this project. Now, I believe that problem one is, so let's just run TestBox help, see what our options are. We have one watch, create and generate. So let's go TestBox, create help. I assume this is to create a test, BDD and unit tests, yeah. The other one is generate. And generate does what? Browser, harness, visualizer, um, TestBox, generate, harness, help. Test harness will be created in a directory called tests. You can run it from the root of your application. TestBox create harness. All right, honestly, I'm not sure what that's going to do. So I believe the first problem is if I run TestBox run, I don't have an actual server that can run those tests. So because I don't have a server.json, because there's no there's no app that needs a server. Now I could fake my way along with a server. Got TestBox here, harness. I feel like I should be able to run these tests without it having to spin up a server. We're going to open up TestBox. First of all, we're going to find out their harnesses are. So I've used Testbox in my web apps, and for writing basic tests in that regard, it's been fine. Test results via ant, JUnit via JUnit. Free run Testbox global runner. You can pass in a directory mapping or bundles. Okay, so installation, we've installed it, clone it from GitHub, requires those, includes these things. Okay, you know what, I don't need the IDE tools. I'm going to be doing BDD. So here's a question, like, does it say testing framework, mocking stubborn expectations? It really, yeah, it's kind of frustrating because I think this is not what Testbox is for currently. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just really, the heck, we'll just run server start, and we'll make a server here. There's no index. Let's see first if we can just kind of fake it. We'll spin up a server here, and maybe we can run the tests with our fake server. So we'll hop back in here. I think we need an index for that forbidden file. So now we have a server running. Just make sure that it reloads. Why is it forbidden? Where's that server actually? Oh, wait a second. Okay. I installed that there. Where's the... Get box.json. No server JSON here. Get commands template test box. I mean, this is where that weird one off the bat. Okay. So why am I getting a forbidden if there's an index.cfm here? Because it didn't realize it was there. Okay, so that index.cfm did work. That's running. Now we'll just be silly here, and we'll run testbox run. And it broke because executing tests. Let's see, 534 missing include. So I might need to configure this with some type of mapping. There's no application. Let's just hit that runner directly in the browser. I mean, I know what's disheartening about this is I know I'm going down the wrong path here. But it doesn't hurt to try, I suppose. Mapping. Tests, run remote. See what this does. Now, this is what we're ultimately hitting, I believe. Testbox ships the global runner, but it doesn't say anything about where that is. Let's look at that test box structure again. The test box has its own application. How do I have to? So the testing that I've done has been within. Okay. Gotta update the location of where the tests are, I believe, because that seems like it's working. Yes, it's got all these stock tests, I guess. That's great. Or are we actually, or are we running the tests? I believe here we're running the tests for test box. Is that what we're doing? Oh, is it because I haven't made, all right. Doop 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 doo. I'm a little slow. That's fine. Okay. Test box. Create. BDD. We'll just name it right now CLI. Yeah, why no love? User method test box create BDD could not. Oh, okay. Test box BDD. Name of the BDD spec to create without the CFC. That was weird. I wonder if that's a. Just make sure that I'm up to date with the latest. Am I up to date with the latest release of command box? I am. So test box, create a new BDD spec in an existing application. Name of the spec to create without the .cfc. The packages special as open, no open, the base directory to create your BDD spec in. All right, so we'll call this CLI, and we'll say the directory should be in tests. Still no love. All right, so this, I'm wondering, I don't know why. All right, let's go over to command box on GitHub. What is it doing here? And we're getting an error with the test box command. So it's in modules app test box command. Go to solutions source, CFML, system modules app, test box commands 8 days ago. Commands, test box, create, BDD. Name of the BDD create, okay. All right, so does the name, directory, if it doesn't exist, create it. Read in the templates. Oh, is it actually missing the test box templates? Is that template not there? Test box. No, that's there. Huh. So why would I not have that locally? Is the path slightly off? Modules app, test box commands, test box, create bdd.cfc, file read. I wonder if this needs to be absolute in the command box file. You know what we'll do? We'll just hop in here. I wonder if I can do this. Exclamation code. Yay! All right, so in here, I wonder if we need. Well, this is relative to this box, relative to modules app. I mean, if I need to run expand path here. That's a shot. What's the worst? It's gonna break again. So that you know, in case you're not aware, right now command box 5 takes a lot longer to reload than command box 4 did. And the reason has something to do with Lucy under the hood, and it should be resolved. I think whenever the core is updated to the next version of Lucy, because that seems to have been resolved under the hood. There's my text box create rather than typing this. Okay, try this again. So still broken. Didn't fix it. Does not like that. Oh, so okay. File or directory, users Matthew, command box, CFML, system modules app, test box, command templates, test box. All right, I think maybe what I should have done is checked to see if well, this was updated 8 days ago. I wonder if, all right, what we'll do, first of all, we'll undo the change that we did here. I wonder if this is something that was fixed recently. It's added 8 days ago. So this is probably in the bleeding edge, but not in the one that I have. All right, I turn reload. Well, first of all, reload to get rid of my broken change there. I'm gonna just update to the bleeding edge release to see if that resolves that. Because it's quite possible that I don't have that file there if it were added 8 days ago. Makes sense that it was failing. I could always just make those tests manually, but I guess if the point's using the CLI, I should. All right, so I'm gonna do upgrade, and we will say latest. I think latest gives me the bleeding edge one. Oh, goody goody. Okay, 502 alpha. Do I want it? Yes. Oh, maybe this one will reload faster. If so, this was the right move, and I'll be very happy. So box. Maybe not. We'll see. Certainly not the first time. And we're waiting. I won't play the Jeopardy music because I don't have any music to play. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, that was the first time. It could have been a first. You know, here. This is the moment of truth. No. I think it's Lucy 53480, which resolved a bunch of Lucy issues, but has some really slow, like, compilation time or something like that. because this is, I mean, this is crazy. Like, if you do this on command box 4, it takes literally 2 seconds instead of what feels like 1,000 years. All right, so let's test box create bdd name equals CLI. Hey, now it made it in the root there. Do not want that. Got to put it in a test directory. So let's rm CLI CFC dash dash force. All right, so let's go to test box. Oh, there's a test directory though. What's in there? Nothing. Oh, because it probably made that when I ran test box create bdd name equals CLI directory equals tests. Okay, so now we have it. How does that happen? I do not know. Let's just try this one more time. We will remove the test directory. We will force and we will recurse. I don't know if this is my fault or command box's fault. Okay. Oh, was it considered? Okay. All right. RM. We'll do this again. All right. We are in the root now, and it was definitely my fault. We'll run testbox create bdd CLI directory tests, fire the missiles. It's made. It's in the right directory. Now if we go test box, oh, I can't imagine that server is still running. Server list, server, stop, custom command, dash, dash, all of this. And I'm not even going to be able to run the test that I want to from it. All right, so we forgot that server. We're going to start up a new one just because we're running on a new updated version of command box. It seems like running that on a fresh server would make the most sense. So that server will spin up. It's running. We will close that. We'll close that. We'll close that. We'll leave that open. And we'll come back and we'll go to test box, run. Okay. Tests runner.cfm tests 404 not found. Missing include. All right. So, oh, I didn't make the runner. I'd want to just use the default test box. Have a runner that I can use. CLI.cfc. But I need a runner in order to do that. Okay. Creates just for tests and generate new test box browser. Okay, you know what? Let's just mess around with this and see what happens. Directory is tests. All right. Let's hop in and see what we just made. This is all new to me. Test browser. Test browser. All right. So, sorry, hopping back to iTerm. All right. What server commands do we have here? Server info, not into. Got to make an alias for that. Server info. Let's running. Okay. So tests, test browser. Tests, test browser. Content of tests / specs. There's nothing in there. All right, that's not helpful. Test box includes global. You need to configure this a little more. Okay. First of all, test browser. Let me get rid of you. So local mappings, test box. Usually, not usually. When I did this in the past, it was within a ColdBox app, and I'm just wondering if the wiring needs to be done a little bit more. Test box. Let's just. Well, first of all, let's see if they have anything on this in the test box docs. Config settings. That's with command box. Not what I want. Installation. We ran it. I don't need the BDD primer. Testing styles, bundles, lifestyle, specs, online assertions, output utilities. Are those running tests? I know that I need a runner. All right. SOAP, Node.js, REST. URL, the run argument. Okay. Porters. That's all cool. So install testbox in the testbox folder from where you call the command. You also extract and download anywhere you want and create a map into testbox. Okay, that's fine. I would place that. Well, it is in that. That's there. Once you have the testbox installed. Okay, well, you know what? If I had read the docs, I would have seen that I needed that harness. Okay, test box, we get rid of you. Tests, we're going to kill you right now too. And we'll do what the docs say. And we'll generate a harness. I'm still in the root. Okay. So, okay. All right, harness generated. Should have read the docs in the first place. That's there. All that stuff's there. Okay, so now let's try. Let's see it into tests. In here, there we go. We've got our specs. That's what I was looking for before. Now, if I see, okay. So first of all, let's see. Let's go back. We're in the root. We can go test box run. Slightly better, I believe. Internal server error. Missing option, path to capture. Does not point to a real and absolute path directory. There is no. Okay. One step closer. App. Tests on request. So that all seems right. Runner. Report path. So what? BDD test. Save 10 plus 5 by 4. Let's back before each. All very cool. So why are we failing here? I mean, at a basic level, this didn't expect to be working on this for 30 minutes. Reload, and I'm going to run it again, and I'll try to track down that error. Because we just have a basic file here. We should be able to run a simple test against it. I mean, I haven't even gotten close to testing my CLI command yet. I guess it's a good primer for setting up TestBox on a non-ColdBox app, with the solution being just read the docs and run the commands that they tell you to in the order that they tell you to do it. Okay, TestBox run. I know it's going to break, and that's fine. Message coverage option path to capture does not point to a real and absolute directory path. Detail. There's no in test box. I mean, I don't know where that's supposed to be coming from. Let's just search the project and find out. Coverage service, absolute path to a root folder to capture coverage, typically your web root. I'm not even using the coverage service. Okay, so in the, well, I should look at the runner. Coverage path to capture. Let's just hit the runner directly in the browser. I guess I keep closing the tab where this is running. So we'll hit this /test/runner. Yeah, there is no file there. Maybe, do I need an app CFC in here? I mean, again, not a real, this is not a real, maybe I should be running this a directory of my command. This is not going to work. Ugh. I mean, I have a feeling that this is just digging down the absolute wrong path here. Here we go. Good enough. If that was the problem, it was not the problem. Path to capture. It's not getting it from the URL. I should just be able to hit this. All right, wasn't the app. Let's get rid of that. That's silly to have in here. Anyways, we've got the runner. Let's go back to our search. Path to capture. Bunch of stuff related to HTML runner, regular runner, test runner, index, runner.cfm, URL coverage, path to capture, default expand, test box system, runner.cfm. Ah, wait a second. Why? That's not right. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Yay. Okay. So we got that. Now for the disappointing realization that even though we've got that set up, we're not going to be able to test the CLI command. So, okay, so we're just going to do this in here to begin with. I want to grab I want to inject a property here. So I had this from before. My real question here is, can I inject command box like this and get the shell? So first of all, let's just see if that breaks here. Didn't. That's kind of cool. And if, I don't know if this is happening, if I just dump the shell in the run, okay, variable shell does not exist. Wonder, and it's kind of weird, like, that it didn't error when I put it there before. We've got it there at the top, and it runs fine. Put in the property there. Button extends. I mean, this is how I'd reference this, like within command box. So I'm not sure how I can get. The real question was, is there a way that I can get test box, wirebox / test box to get that and provide it to me? So we have the base spec here. I feel like we're working with, we're working with two separate systems here. All of that, I mean, that's up and running here. So this isn't a complete waste, because while I don't think there's any way, because this is running in the browser. Yeah, I mean, let's get rid of all this. I don't think there's any way for me to access command box in the shell from this, because it's running in the server. What I could do, and this wouldn't be a terrible approach, right now, so I want to test the output of my command. What I could do is rework this. So currently the command, all of the work within it, or most of the work that I actually want to test, not all of it. I mean, honestly, I want to be able to test the command. But in terms of, boy, file system util here. Some of this work in terms of creating directories and copying over files, I could move to a service. So I could set up a models folder, put a service in there, and the service could handle some of the nitty gritty of moving things over and copying them. And by isolating that code within the service, I could test that separately from the command itself. Um, and honestly, it's not a terrible approach to take. Um, and certainly, I think I could get that to work. Um, and I think that's so. Right before I hopped on here, I was going through ForgeBox and taking a look at um, other command box modules to see if anyone had any type of testing going on. And the only one that I saw that had testing was, yeah, no testing. The only one that I saw that had testing was CF format. I don't think CF docs does, but I'll look again. I didn't check box and grok. I think I checked this one, but you know what? I'm gonna check these again. CF docs, does it have testing? Nope. Whatever one I was on. Nope. Nope. Models and receptors share. Nope. Checked that one before. The only one that I saw that had any testing was CF format. CF format has testing, but what it does is kind of what I just described. I'll check that in a second. Let me just run through this. Docbox, so that, yeah. Mixed feelings about emojis, but they do make me laugh. This was the only command box module that I saw that had testing. And basically what, so there's a server.json here, yeah. And it spins up and it hits tests. I think everything in this extended the base spec. What it does is it has a models folder. The CF format is in the models folder. It does all the work formatting the data, so it can test that model and tests the model independent of the command line command. And as far as testing goes, I mean, that's way better than nothing, and maybe by some approaches it would be a better way to test than what I'm trying to do here. Let's just go a little farther. Last update. Actually, I should be sorting by last updated. If the preside guys test any of their commands. All right. No. Okay. So I think what I've come to, rather than inflicting this search on you and on myself anymore, I think it was a solid discovery. I got TestBox installed, got it running. If I want to test, at least using TestBox as of right now, my only approach is to take the functionality of my command and move it into a service, um, so that I can spin up a server to test that service, um, and the functionality of that service. And I mean, it's good to know, and I should probably do it just to, finish this process. Um, but I'll probably be brainstorming some ways that I can also test this from the CLI, because I would like to be able to run the command the way a user does, more of an integration test. Um, Make sure that the output of the command, or the result of the command, is what I expect it to be. All right, I think that's it for tonight. It's up and running, um, and I'm not gonna start writing those tests yet. So thanks for tagging along, and hopefully I'll be able to do that migration and just get some basic testing in there, best practices and all. Good night.